Okay, so guys, what we understood yesterday. Okay, we'll do one thing. We'll revise for the few minutes whatever we discussed yesterday. So I'm just going to the this part, this area. I mean this sheet. So we started understanding SAP. We started our training right yesterday from yesterday's class. So SAP FICO. So so we understood what is SAP. I mean what type of SAP application is, which is a ERP application, right? That's what we understood yesterday. And we also discussed on the definition of SAP and the difference between SAP S/4HANA and SAP HANA database, okay? And the history of SAP, when it started and what is your current present version. So we have many different versions. Also, we understood not at a high level, but I mean, sorry, at a high level, we understood what is SAP architecture, what are the different servers we have, and we also understood the different types of projects in SAP. Once you start working as SAP consultants, you will see either of any of these projects, either of any of these different. I mean, at least in one project, you will be working either in a green implementation, which is end-to-end, brownfield implementation, and support maintenance project and rollout. Okay, so these are the different types of projects. Once you start working as SAP consultants, definitely you'll be in one of the project. So in SAP, we have both technical modules and functional modules. So functional modules, for example, we are the SAP functional consultants, FI consultant, CO consultant, FSCM consultant, SD consultant, MM consultant. So these are the different functional modules. So respective consultants will work respective modules. We will be working on the financial accounting. We are FI consultants. Okay. So technical modules, again, in the name itself, it is mentioned technical, right? So something technical like system setup or giving access. So writing the code, everything belongs to technical areas. Like basis will take care of administration, the services setup, and so on. Abapus, of course, they write the program code. So just imagine that there is a client requirement. There is a client requirement, but it is not fitting in SAP. I mean, basically, as SAP has not provided any standard process, standard configuration business process. Okay, so for that, what we need to do, we need to ask developers to write the code, write the some Z development, Z in the sense customized development. So then developers comes into the picture. They will write the programs. Security team, if of course, for each and every transaction, we need access for posting customer invoice, customer payment, vendor invoice, vendor payment. So we have many business transactions are there, right? So each and every business transaction will be processed by the respective end user, respective model end user, like SD end user will process SD data, purchase related. I mean, MM end user will process MM related data. So end user should have access to their respective transactions. So who will be providing? Security team will be providing the access. Integration is something. I mean, this is a little technical. I mean, basically, this comes into picture when you are working between the two systems, multiple systems. You are receiving data, or you are sending data to other system, or you are receiving data from other system. So in between, middleware system will be there. So they will taking care the file mapping and everything. They will take care transferring the files. And we understood few advantages of SAP S/4HANA, and also we understood, okay, once we learn SAP application, then you will be eligible for working as a SAP consultant or SAP end user. As an end user, you will be processing the data, and as a consultant, yes, this is very big role where you have to understand the business requirement. You have to customize, you have to design the business requirement to the client. You should understand thoroughly the client's business process. Okay, and we need to configure in the system. We need to define the settings in the system, and we need to test it thoroughly as per the requirement, and we need to ask client to test it. Then if everything is fine, we'll move changes to the production. So this is something very this is not something that you can, what do you say, you have to put more effort on this level, on this area. If you want to become SAP consultant, you have to put more effort. Okay, and system landscape, yes, definitely. Not only SAP, every technology will have landscape. Okay, so typically in SAP we use development server, quality server, and production server. So in development server we do the settings and we do unit testing also. And once everything is working fine, then we'll move changes to the quality server. Again, quality also will test the scenarios. Testing will be there. After that, if everything is working fine, then we'll ask user to test the requirement. Okay. Then I mean, based on the user acceptance test, we'll move changes to the production server. Of course, end users will start working on the activities. and that is about your system landscape. Now this is very important again. Definitely one or two questions will be there in the interviews. SAP implementation methodologies. Sir, you have any questions before we start SAP implementation methodologies? Any topics what we discussed yesterday, whatever we reviewed today? System landscape or understanding the roles or understanding the advantages of SAP S/4HANA. What are the different models we have in SAP, and what are the different types of projects we'll be working in SAP, and understanding architecture and history of SAP, the definitions, the differences. Is that clear, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so far,
Any questions? You said something, right? I did not hear you.
no, no, sir.
Okay, it is very clear, right? Now, okay, let us understand. Let us understand. You can mute yourself, sir. Okay, it's a little background noise. You can mute yourself, and if you have any questions, definitely you can ping me in the chat. Okay, I'll get the pop-up box and then I will reply to your answer. Just write it in the chat box if you have any questions in between. So, SAP method implementation methodologies. What is SAP implementation methodologies? So, just imagine again, imagination. Go to the imagination and just you think that there is a client called Verizon. Verizon client is a customer. Okay, customer, and presently they're working on the some Oracle system or Tally system, whatever it may be. Okay, they are working some another application, Oracle data process or Oracle system or Tally system. They're processing the business process in these systems. Now Verizon, which is belongs to IT industry, I mean IT telecommunications sector. It is okay, telecommunication sector, not IT. So they want to shift from Oracle system to the SAP system. They want to implement SAP application. Verizon wants to implement SAP application. For that, what they have done, they reached out to the Deloitte Consulting. They have not only Deloitte, they will reach out to all the consulting companies. Whoever the cost, from the cost perspective, if it is very cheaper, or I mean they'll check all the parameters, right? To whom they want to implement, whether Deloitte or Wipro or Tech Mahindra or like Accenture, IBM. You have many consulting companies, but at last they decided to take it with the Deloitte company. Okay, now Deloitte is a implementation partner, SAP implementation partner. Now you are working as SAP consultant. You are working as SAP consultant in Deloitte. Now you got the project. Verizon project, you got it. Now you'll be working in implementation project as a SAP FI consultant. Okay. Now what will be your role? Okay. Now you should understand. So you are working in a Deloitte company as a SAP FI consultant. Now you luckily you are like placed in the project, Verizon implementation project. Now let us understand what are the different phases, starting with project preparation phase. Okay, before that, this is the first methodology which is called ASAP methodology, accelerated SAP methodology. Okay, accelerated SAP methodology. So basically these methodologies, you have many methodologies are there for implementing SAP solutions. So this is one of the method which is used for implementing SAP solutions. Okay, now the first phase, project preparation phase. So understand the roles and I mean what do you say, understand each and every field, each and every what do you say, descriptions. Okay, project scope. So in the what happens in the project preparation phase, not you are the not only one person, right? You will be having SD consultant, you are FI consultant, you will see MM consultant, you will see a number of consultants over there in your project. Okay, you will have project manager. So basically the roles and responsibilities will be defined, and also project scope in the sense which applications need to be finalized, because Verizon may use different applications. They are using Tally, Oracle, they're using Concur system, they're using some XYZ system, they're using multiple systems for their business process. Now do you think all the business process need to be get it into SAP now? They have to close their business process in their systems. Now they have to start working in SAP system, right? So at this stage they will decide. Okay, at this stage they will decide what are the applications need to be considered for this implementation. That is the first thing. Second thing, roles and responsibilities. So okay, you'll be working as SAP FI consultant, but under FI consultant, as a FI consultant, what are the responsibilities? Like you'll be taking care of GL area, accounts payable, AR. Suppose if the client recruits, suppose Deloitte recruits two people for FI, so you will be working on the GL AR and I will be working as at accounting and accounts payable. So roles and responsible will be defined at the initial stage itself. Okay. Which modules need to be implemented? Of course, we'll check with the business what models they required. Sales and distribution model, metal management model, of course ABAP will be there, and inventory warehouse management, controlling, HR. So this is something, these two phases, this is especially this phase. This phase is something that your project management will discuss with the client. Initial phase, project management team will discuss. Someone who has more experience, like 10, 12 years experience, they will be discussing with the client. You will be getting a chance, but not immediately. Maybe after 5 or 6 years, or maybe at that, after getting certain experience, you will be involved in this phase. Okay, so roles and responsibilities will be defined. Which models need to be implemented? Timelines and objectives. When phase one should get started, and when go live should happen in SAP. When client will start doing activities in SAP and leaving Oracle and Tally. So basically, you will define timelines also. When is your first phase? When your second phase, third phase, fourth phase? So technically speaking, when configuration phase will get completed, when testing phase will starts. So all the timelines and objectives will be defined during this phase. Of course, definitely there will be a separate team called the project management team. They will be tracking all the activities. They will take care of all the activities. They will have some daily meetings, and they will ask the status. Okay, they'll update the status for each module and everything. They'll track all the activities happening in the project. In whatever the activities are happening in the project, they will take care. Basically, they'll be the like point of contact. If you are like facing any issues or any system perspective, or if you want to know something, what is the business process and everything, we can discuss with them, project team. They will take care. So these are the different response. I mean, basically, these are the what you have in this phase, project preparation phase. So these are the activities that are performed in this phase. What about the business blueprint phase? This is another important phase, very, very, very important. As a FI consultant, it is my responsibility that I need to understand Verizon business. What is Verizon business? As I mentioned, it is a telecommunication sector, belongs to telecommunication industry. I need to understand this business process. In India, you have Airtel, you have Idea, you have something Reliance Jio, and so on, right? Similarly, in US also they have Verizon, which is related to telecommunication sector. Now I need to understand their business process as a FI consultant. See, understanding business process of business. So how do I understand? I will schedule the calls. I will discuss with them. I'll prepare the presentations. Again, this area also, this is also something that if you have usually if you have some good experience, you will be involved in this area, in this phase. So you will conduct workshops, meeting, and so on for getting the requirements. So as is and to be is called business blueprint. As is and to be. What is as is? As is nothing but existing business process. What is their current business process? In today need to understand what is their current business process and what will be future business process in SAP. Now they are shifting from Oracle to the SAP, right? So what will be their business process in SAP, and what is your current business process in Oracle system? So you will design the document. This is called business blueprint. So in this phase, the main thing is we'll understand business requirements, what is their current business process, and we'll prepare the future business process also. What should be business process in SAP for them? Okay, and there is a one thing is called is fit and gap analysis. So each and every business requirement given by the client will not fulfill in SAP. Okay, there are certain restrictions also, right? Not everything will be fulfilled by the SAP. So in SAP, most of the scenarios may fulfill, but definitely some 20 to 30% may not fulfill. So for that, what we'll do, we'll ask a technical team to develop the programs, Z programs or customized programs. So fit is nothing but if it is a standard functionality, then it is called fit. The requirement, whatever the requirement we receive, if it is meeting by the standard configuration, that is called fit. Gap is something which is not fulfilled. They had given the requirement, but the requirement cannot be done in SAP. I mean, it not provided. The standard configuration is not provided by SAP. So in that case, what we'll do, we'll mark it as gap. For this gap, what we'll do, we'll develop the program. So for gaps, we'll develop the program always. Now. Not only program, basically you have for the gaps we have I mentioned separately here. So in case if the customized programs you are developing, there are different concepts are there like workflows, reports, interfaces, conversions, enhancements, forms. All these are little technical, but you will understand when you receive the business requirement from the client. Okay. So we had seen fit and gap analysis. Document, as I mentioned, you will be preparing as is known to be documentations. You will understand as is business process and to be process also will be prepared one documentation. Process modeling application. This is something your chart flow or process flow. You will prepare some diagrams. What is their current business process? Now it will be in future. So basically, you will definitely every project will have some process modeling applications. You have standard application, right? Microsoft Visio, correct? In Microsoft Visio also will be used for process modeling. Okay, for use which is used for the preparing flowcharts. Okay, and if they're happy, if the client is very happy with the to be process, okay, if the client is very happy with the to be process, then they will sign off the blueprint. So this sign off is very important again. This sign off is very important to move further. So without this sign off, no, we can't go ahead. Okay, so under business blueprint phase, we prepare, we will understand the existing business process and and also will prepare the future business process of client. So that is called business blueprint. So once we receive the sign off copy from the client, we'll proceed with the next phase, which is realization phase. So what we do in the realization phase? Of course. So once we receive, we'll start actual system work now. So you will do so in one hand you already have the documentation, right? You know what needs to be done in SAP. To be documents already there to be processed. So based on these documents, based on the business requirement documents, so with reference to the requirement documents, we will start defining the settings in the system. Okay, we do the settings, then we do the testing. Again we prepare some basically we prepare here itself like the configuration documents. So based on the requirements we prepare some configuration documents, and then with the configuration documents reference to configuration, or we also do the settings in the system, we do the testing and everything. So basically this phase belongs like prepare, you are doing actual work in the system like configuring, customizing, designing, and testing the requirement, everything here, and preparing some documentation like configuration documents, test plan documents, and so on. Some documentation process, preparing some PPTs and so on. And functional consultants, as I mentioned, right? Gap analysis. If the requirement is not happening with the standard configuration, then the gap is to for this for fulfilling these gaps. What we'll do? We'll ask developers to develop the programs. So for that we need to prepare some functional specifications for the gaps. So functional consultants will start writing functional specifications for the gaps. Developers will start developing the program. So what is functional specification? Functional specification is nothing but it's a detailed business requirement document. Okay, it's a little technical also. So it's a detailed business requirement given by the client, and that will be given to the ABAP team to refer this document, and they will develop based on this document. Templates, this is the documentation again I have mentioned here, right? Configuration, so to configuration documents, user guide documents. So user guide documents is for where users will process the transactions. Users don't know anything, users will not understand SAP, they are new to the SAP because presently they are working on the Oracle or Tally system, they don't know SAP now. So it is our responsible, right? It is our responsible to prepare some guide documentations for them. Test plan, FS. So all the documentation. This is entire documentation part. Business process documents or business requirements documents. So this is realization phase. So final preparation, what you will do? You will do the testing. See, testing again. Of course, we have done testing here also. This is something final testing. It's a integration testing is something you'll test between the modules like FIMM or FISD. So if you are processing sales order process in the backend, system should update your your accounting transactions also, right? For the like sales transactions or like for the inventory perspective, inventory related transactions. The system automatically will determine the GL accounts. So it has to update in your accounting part also. So it's a combination of testing. So integration, user training. So users, as I mentioned earlier, users will not understand anything. So it is our responsible to train the users. For them, we need to provide some documentations like user guide documentation or user training, like user manuals and so on. Again, here also UAT, user acceptance test. We did settings in the system. We did internally testing also. Unit testing has been done, and we also did some integration testing in the final preparation. Okay, and we had provided user training also. Now users are well aware how to test the system, so they will do the testing here. I mean UAT, user acceptance test. They will test all the scenarios. They will test as per your to be process what needs to be done. I mean they'll test FI, test SD, sales and distribution, MM, respective models. But it is our responsible to take care of our relevant module with the user. So from the user side also you will have accountants, right? Accountants, account receivable accountant, accounts payable accountant, asset accounting accountant. So we'll reach out to the respective user and we'll ask them to test the scenarios. If everything is okay, you will get the sign off. Otherwise, no. Again, you'll do again. If something is wrong here, what you will do? Again, you will perform the changes in the system. You will do the testing. Again, you'll do one more testing and you will ask user to test the scenario. So this is something recycle. I mean, what do you say? Cycling kind of exercise here. So you'll do again if the changes are if some changes are required, then you'll go back to the development system. You'll do the settings and you'll perform the unit testing. Again, we ask of course before asking user, we will one more time we will confirm if the if the requirement is working in the system or not. Then we'll ask user to test the scenario thoroughly. If everything is fine, if user is very happy with all the system settings and so on, then user will provide the sign off copy. Why this sign off copy is required? Because whatever we have done, they're approved by the client. Based on this copy, we'll start doing some cutover activities. I mean, in production. Actual, we are coming like close, right? So we need to migrate the data. So data migration. So we have to get all the data right. Presently, they are using Oracle system. You have to migrate all your data to the SAP system, right? You have to migrate all your data to SAP system. That is called data migration. For data migration, earlier like we used to use ABAP programs, okay, and some LSNW program, legacy system migration program, or many tools are there, data migration tools like LSNW, BDC program, migrate your data program, okay. All these are like programs which where you can transfer the data. So when I say data, what is the data? You will have two types of data. One is master data. Master data is nothing but like customer data, supplier data, GL master data, cost center data, and so on. Transactional data, of course, customer invoice data, customer payment data, vendor invoice payment data. So you have business transaction data basically. All the data needs to be transferred from your Oracle system to SAP system. So this is all about your this is all this transferring the data is part of your migration. So migration, data migration. Okay, and all these activities belongs to cutover activities for go live. So cutover activities like migrating the data, or like you have to decide the cutover date final, on which date you want to move your when you will start your production system for Verizon business. Okay, so you will create some date, you will prepare some cutover date, from which date you are going to start your business activities in SAP application. When user is going to start activity processing the data in SAP. So you will finalize some date. Okay, and of course you'll at last will move everything to the production system. Now you I mean, in the production systems, users can start doing activities in the production system. In production system, if users are facing any issues, so definitely we'll have some support and maintenance team. So they will take care all the end user issues. I mentioned, right, support maintenance project also will be there. So this is already implemented now. As a consultant, if you're working in a support project, definitely. So you'll be seeing, you'll be receiving incidents, and based on your service level agreements, you will resolve the incidents accordingly. You will understand the requirement, and then you will connect with the users. You will resolve the issues. Okay, hypercare support. Okay, initial during implementation, some 2 3 months hypercare will be supported to the. So we have involved in the implementation, right? Me and you involved in the implementation. So we know the business process and everything. So when when uh, uh, when go live phase will come, right? At that time, next 2 to 3 months will be supporting to the client. That is called hypercare support. After that, what happens? Definitely will transfer KT knowledge and everything will be will transfer the knowledge to the support maintenance team. They will take care of the support. I mean, basically during that hypercare support and everything, will usually the KT transition will be happen to the support team. Because me as SAP consultant, because I have involved in the implementation, I know the complete business process knowledge because I have involved from beginning. Because since I have configured the in the system, I know what settings has been done. So I will transfer the knowledge to the person who sits in the support project, because he is the person who is going to take care of this project, right? Because he has to resolve all the issues in future. So I'll be transferring all the knowledge to the support maintenance team. So for few months, both support team and implementation team will work together, like which is called hypercare support. So is it understandable, sir, or like hello?
Yes, understand.
Any questions you have seen? So what are the different phases we have under ASAP methodology? We have project preparation phase, business blueprint phase, realization phase, and we have final preparation and go live and support. So usually, I'll just repeat it again. So project preparation phase, this is something at a high level where senior management team will take care of this phase, because they have to discuss what are the applications need to be finalized, what is the project scope, and which models need to be implemented, and what are the timelines. That everything will be happen under this phase. Business blueprint phase will understand the Verizon's business and what will be your future business place. Okay, we'll prepare some documentation like as is and to be. After having thorough discussions, this is not something it will happen in 1 or 2 days, sir. This will take months and months. And the realization phase, so you have all the requirements with you. So based on the requirements, you will start doing configuration in the system. You will configure, you will do the settings, you will do the testing, we'll prepare some documentation, and we'll ask users to test it also. Okay, we'll ask users to test all the scenarios. So based on the sign off, we'll start preparing the cutover activities. So what I mean cutover activities means like you're like preparing for the go live, preparing cutover activities for the go live, like migrating your data and finalizing the date and everything. Of course, support and maintenance. So we'll give KT, I mean support and maintenance team. If there is a separate support and maintenance team, then definitely we'll be transferring the knowledge to them, and they will take care in future. For time being, we'll like 1 2 or 3 months, we'll be providing hypercare support. Sir, any questions here?
No.
So if you understand ASAP method, if you understand all these phases, right, then you will understand other methodologies also. Again, the same thing. You will discuss with your business team. I mean, your client, understanding their business processes. Again, what you will do? You will prepare some documentation. You will make the. I mean, will prepare some design process. What will business process in SAP for them? Again, you will start doing activities in the system. You will test the system. We'll ask user to test the system. If everything is fine after UAT, we'll move changes to the production. Production activities will start taking they complete their business process will be in SAP. Once everything, or if sorry, in what do you say, in SAP application in production system complete. So the same thing again, the routine thing. If you go through the some other activity method, I mean other methodologies, we have one more methodology. Okay, SAP activate methodology. This is also something, but if you descriptions are little different. Okay, we have different phases here. One is a discover, one is prepare, one is explore, one is realize, deploy, and run. Now we can see here also SAP activate methodology phases. This phase involves understanding the business requirement. This phase This phase involves understanding the business requirements. I already mentioned, right? In when your initial phase, we'll understand the business requirements in the blueprint phase. The same thing again here. And defining the project scope. Yeah, this is also we discussed. Identifying the potential solutions. So for each requirement, we identify the solution, whether it is fit in SAP or not. So we'll take it accordingly. The project team sets up the technical environment. Yeah, our project management will set up the technical environment like SAP system and everything. Okay. Conducts initial workshops. Yes, as a FI consultant, I will conduct the meetings with the business for getting the requirements. I will conduct some workshop presentations and so on will be taken care. And define the project plan. Again, this is something. So when it should be when it should get started, when it should get finalized, when it will be started. So basically, you're planning your activities for the project, for the entire project. Okay. Explore. The team elaborates the requirements. Of course, I mean from the end user side, from the client side, they will explain all the requirements to us. Configure the system and conduct iterative testing. Yes, after understanding the requirements, we do the system settings in the system, and we perform the testing. And also we evaluate the solution. So we what does it mean validating the solution? So based on the business requirement only, we'll configure the system and it will be validated by the client. Realization involves finalizing the configuration. We'll finalize all the requirements. We'll perform all the activities in the system. We'll configure all the activities in the system. Completing the system integration. Basically, it's a testing part again. Preparing for the production environment. Now, so this during this stage again, you are asking client to perform the testing here. So if everything goes well, then we'll move changes to the production, preparing for the production environment. So in the production again, what we'll do, we'll deploy all the activities, settings, the solution deployed to the production environment. So all your settings will be moved to the production system. Again, in production, what happens? Again, the actual business activities takes place in new system, in SAP system. Now, support and maintenance team, what they will do? Closely monitor the issues. Run covers the transition from the project mode to the operation mode. Yes, exactly. So initially we started as a project, and now at last it moved everything to the production. Now it is an operational mode where the system is used actively used by the business. Yes, all the users from the client side, they will start utilizing the production system. They will start doing the data processing in production system. So do you see anything new here?
Hmm.
So again, same activities are so the names are little different: discover, prepare, explore, realize, deploy, and run. But activities are same. The same activities again. You'll discuss with your client, get the requirements, understand the requirements, and prepare some documentation as is and to be. Then do the settings in the system. You test the system. We'll ask user to test the system. We'll confirm the UAT part. Again, we start preparing activities for the production. Correct? And in production, anyhow, the business starts working in the production system. Again, we'll be providing support and maintenance for them. We have another methodology, sir. This is called agile methodology. This agile methodology nowadays they're using this method for all the technologies, not only for SAP. They're using this methodology for many of the technologies. Okay. Now here also the same story again. There is nothing much difference. If you look at here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Let us go with the 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5. Here, ensure that you are reviewing monitoring the key metrics for the success. So basically, each and every stage you review the from the client side and from our side also. Every stage will review with the business whatever we have done. Okay. So, but this is the fifth one. Here, the first one, requirements definition and analysis of concepts. So first one here, analysis of concepts and required. So basically you're taking the requirements from the client, and you will understand current state means as is process, what is their current business process and their expectations. Okay, what is the client requirement and what is their expectation. So we analyze all the concepts, we'll analyze all the requirements. Second one, planning of sprints. So sprint is something, so it will be very shorter period like 30, 35 days, 1 month. So in the sprints, we mention which area needs to be covered. For example, in the sprint one, we'll cover enterprise structure settings and unit testing and so on. In sprint two, we'll cover accounts receivable. In sprint three, we cover accounts payable. In sprint four, we will cover asset accounting. So they are dividing the topics, each sprint wise. Okay, they're targeting the activities for each sprint wise. This is called sprint planning. Okay, sprint planning of the sprints. So this is part of your agile methodology. Okay, this process is part of your agile methodology. Okay, this sprint methodology, sprint planning the sprints. So arrange the teams and tools needed to optimize production. Third, next one, collaborative design development. From the beginning of the process, the end user's involvement and feedback is critical. So we start designing the system, we configure the system. Okay, and the testing and everything will be there here. Frequent development delivery through sprints, feedback on the testing and appropriate changes are appropriate. That's what I'm saying. So you'll be having different. I mean, basically you will have many sprints. In each sprint, you will cover certain topics. In the sprint itself, you will cover the testing also. So frequent development delivery through sprints, feedback on testing and appropriate changes are imperative. So basically, you will have the meetings. So after end of the first sprint, you will have meeting with the client. You will ask client, I mean, have we defined everything as per their requirement or not? So sprint reviews will be there. So from the client side also we have a sprint reviewer, which is a scrum master. So scrum master will take care. So he will ask us, I mean, as a scrum master, definitely he will go through what is the current status and what needs to be done, what are the improvements need to be done for the project, and so basically, so from the respective model. So every model will have sprint meetings for the with the respective users. Our FI team will have FI users meeting, and SD team will have with SD users, and so on. So this methodology will be working based on the sprints. This is called agile methodology. That's it, sir. Any questions, sir? Do you see anything new here other than sprints? The activities are similar again. The only thing is the work related activities are divided into different sprints. So you're covering your activities by sprint wise. That's the only difference with agile methodology, what I see in my experience. Any questions, sir? Agile methodology, or what do you say? This one, second method, activate methodology.
Mm.
So earlier, some long back, we were using this methodology, ASAP methodology, but now SAP, I mean, for most of the implementations are taken care by Activate methodology or by Agile methodology. So when I was working with Deloitte, I was working with one client. They were using Agile methodology. Okay. Now, okay. Now, little technical getting started, sir. I mean, in the system perspective, from the system perspective. Okay, we'll have two types of screens. I'll open that one. Remote to desktop connection. Okay. Now you have to plan your SAP system accesses, sir. Aha, it's not working. Shit. So we'll have application like this. Okay. I think user ID password has been changed. So this is your application. Okay. So you have two screens. One is easy access screen. Sorry. So you will have two screens. I'll show you tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow is the next class. So you'll have two screens. One is easy access screen and one is IMG screen. This easy access screen will be used by the end users. This IMG screen is used by the consultants because this is the screen where you do the configuration, customization. You will implement all the requirements. So consultants will use this one, and of course consultant will use this one also for testing purposes. We use this one, but this at last the data processing will be done by the end users in the production system. Okay, the data processing will be done by end users in the production system in this screen, easy access screen. We as a consultants will design the system here, but in development and quality we test the scenarios by using easy access screen. Now, SAP has brought a new web-related application which is called Fury apps, Fury applications, GUI, graphic user interface. Whatever I have shown now, that icon, this icon, that this is a GUI system and graphic user interface. You will use the application, but you have an option where SAP has brought this one also. What do you say? Uh, this one, what do you say? Fury app applications. So we can use a GUI or web-based, but usually now in the current scenario, they're using a Fury app applications for processing the transactions. But in our training session, we'll be using GUI because we'll be not having access. This access will definitely will be having in real-time system. But both are same, just processing the data. Sir, any questions here?
No.
So
No, sir.
this is something where security team will give you the access, right? So if you are working as SAP end user, so end user access will be provided by the base system. So SAP is very secured application. So you are working as a account, you are working as a accounts receivable end user. Just imagine another person is working as a accounts payable end user. Now accounts receivable end user will not have access to the accounts payable related activities. Similarly, vice versa. So the end user will have access to the relevant activities only. Whatever the activities which are assigned to the end user will be provided access to those transactions to that user, the relevant area. Okay, that's what I mentioned here. It's very secured system. No, anyhow, this is a graphic user interface, and this Fury web-based Fury, it will be working based on the develop. It can be processed. The data can be processed by the end users by using different medium. I think I already I think yesterday I mentioned, right? So you can work on tablet, mobile, web-based application. This is not required here. So what we understood, sir, we understood what are different types of screens, SAP screens. We understood different types of methodologies to implement SAP. What are the three different methodologies we discussed? One is SAP methodology. Second one is your what do you say? Activate methodology, and the third one is Agile methodology. So these are the three methodologies which are used to implement SAP, SAP application for the business for the clients. Sir, any question?
No.
What I'll do, I'll stop this recording.